Good afternoon. Can I ask everybody to come grab a seat? Folks who are in the back milling about. All right, here we go. We're going to try that again. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Parents, my name is Reed Kroloff, and I'm the Dean of the College of Architecture, where your children have been for the last somewhere between 2 and 5 years, or 1 and 5 years, sorry, depending on their programs. And we want to thank you very much for lending them to us for that period of time. We're now going to return them, and we get our deposit back. Is that right? No? Okay, well. We're delighted that you were able to join us today, and we really look forward to seeing you tomorrow at commencement. Does everybody know that it's not here, right? Okay, good. We're sad about that, but it's you get the best of both worlds. You get commencement in a big auditorium where that kind of stuff takes place, and then you get to have the award ceremony here where it matters, in Crown Hall. So we're so pleased. Welcome to Crown Hall, and I hope you've all had a chance to wander around and see the work of your students, our students, your children, and the work of many others here. There's work from every single studio, almost every single course we teach up. I do want to encourage folks to not just look on this floor, but to go downstairs and see the work of many other classes down there as well. This is a major effort to put this show, Open House, up, and really your students, our students, your children, and our faculty did this together, and amazingly they did it in 3 days. And just before that, there had been a dinner for 350 people in here. It looked nothing like this. It all just came together. It's nothing short of a miracle of production. So I want to thank everybody who was involved in that. This is our awards ceremony. It shouldn't take more than 3.5 hours. I think everybody's got stoked up on brownies and cookies before that. So we'll try and keep you from bouncing off the walls in the interim. What we'll do is you'll see, invite each of the program directors from our degree programs, and we have quite a few, several at the graduate level, plus the Bachelor of Architecture program at the undergraduate level, and they will give the awards for each of their programs. Then we're going to have a couple of student speeches to say thank you and goodbye, and then I will deliver my annual 2-hour lecture on what's important in the design world today. I'm sure it will be captivating, and you'll want to stay in your seat. If my part of the program takes more than 5 minutes, you're welcome to grab the hook, pull me away. But we're delighted in the interim that you're here with us, so thank you for coming today. This is going to be a day of many thank yous, so please bear with us. A lot of the awards that you're going to hear today were the result of a jury, a reviewed process by invited experts from various fields, and I just want to thank them and tell you who they were for this year. They included Notan Barani, who's in the Arts and Public Life at the University of Chicago, David Brown, who is the acting chair at the University of Illinois at Chicago, acting chair of architecture, Kaz Kuyuya, all right, I'm going to try that, Kuyaba, who's with Range Design, Ann Louie with Future Firm, and the University of Michigan, Francesco Murillo, also with the University of Illinois at Chicago, Lori Mukiyama from Gensler Architects, Connor O'Shea at the University of Illinois and Hinterlands, Alex Timmer at the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, and Antonio Torres at the University of Illinois Chicago and Bittertang Farm. So can I have a little round of applause for all of them? They spent a lot of time. They looked at many, many projects. And then I don't know if he's here today. Is Mark Sexton here? No. Mark Sexton, who is our College of Architecture board chair, also was part of the jury and a founding principal in K&S Partners. So we'll now introduce the recipients of the College Spring Awards. If your name is called for an award and you're in attendance tonight, please come forward and wait long enough to get your photo taken. There will also be opportunities to take additional photos with the program directors, other than Martin Felsen, later tonight. Oh, Martin, are you here? Oh, there he is. Later tonight. Following the announcement of our Spring Award recipients, we'll hear remarks from our graduating students, as I already mentioned to you, who were nominated by their classmates to give the addresses tonight. So they weren't just chosen by the faculty, it was their own fellows who brought them up to do that. And so I'd like to get started right away by introducing you to Leslie Johnson, who is an associate teaching professor and the new director of the Bachelor of Architecture program here in the College of Architecture. Leslie?
Hey, everybody. It's a pleasure always to organize these spring awards, to see work across the full curricula and to see all of the amazing things the students have made every year. So although it is a lot of work to get it all together, I hope that you'll see some of this amazing stuff as we start to announce these awards. I'm going to introduce the awards that are for the first through fourth year of the Bachelor of Architecture program. And there are two scholarship awards in particular, the Samuel Horowitz Memorial Scholarship and the Dwight T. Black Memorial Scholarship. They are tuition scholarships awarded to Bachelor of Architecture students completing their first through fourth year, as I said, whose studio projects, demonstrate outstanding merit and professional promise. Students are nominated by their faculty and are selected by the spring awards jury that we just mentioned. And this year's recipients are, for the Samuel Horowitz Scholarship, I can't see the slide, so hopefully it's working with me. Thank you, Andrew. For the Horowitz Scholarship, honorable mention goes to Abigail Demodica. Congratulations, Abigail. And this year's winner of the Samuel Horowitz Scholarship is Cody Lopez. Cody. For the second year studio winners and honorable mentions, this year's honorable mention goes to Seung-Hong Han for his work in actually both ARC 201 and ARC 202, both semesters. So congratulations, Seung-Hong. And we have two winners for the for the Horowitz Scholarship. One from the fall semester, which is ARC 201, which is Lucas Fryman. Congratulations, Lucas. And from the spring semester, J.P. McCullough. The Dwight T. Black Scholarship is for third and fourth year students. And this year, there were two honorable mentions in the third year studio. The first for Sarah Catenoy. And the second for Angie Conwell. I'm making the assumption that most of these first through fourth year are not here because they're not graduating. But if you are here, we can say hello. Raise your hand. And the winner of the third year Dwight T. Black Scholarship is Casey Kowalski. For the fourth year studio, we also have two honorable mentions. The first is for Hallie Parker and Faith Zinger for their project Blueprints for Better Living with Professor Mills and Tanucci. And the second honorable mention is for Stephen Cruz and Swan Tun for their project Reimagine Inglewood, also with Professor Mills and Tanucci. And the winners of the Dwight T. Black Memorial Scholarship are Maria Alcantara and Nicholas Papas for their project Carpenter's Trail, maybe Tail, I don't, Carpenter's Trail. And I think that's all for me. And now I'm going to introduce Martin Felsen, who's the professor here and director of our Bachelor of Architecture program and Associate Dean for Graduate Studies. Thank you very much, Martin.
All right, thank you very much, Professor Johansson. Just getting ready to mispronounce all the names here, so. All right, great to see everybody. I have a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to start with the Gerald and Ruth Wheel-Lobel Scholarship, the Nagel Hartray Scholarship, and the Brothers Finfer Scholarships. These are tuition scholarships awarded to nominated MArch students completing their first or second year of grad study whose studio projects demonstrate outstanding merit and professional promise. Students are nominated by their faculty and selected by the Spring Awards jury. So this year's recipients, the Gerald and Ruth Will Lobel Scholarship Honorable Mention goes to Danny Bracamontes. Okay, and if your name is called and you're here, please come on up. The Gerald and Ruth Wheel Loeb Scholarship goes to Clayton Mast. Okay. How about the Nagel Hartray Scholarship? This goes to Ivan Gonzalez Vasquez, Anthony Skokel, and Kelly Sullivan for their project Chicago Museum of Glass, Art, and Technology. And that's with Professor Tom Brock. Tom Brock is here. Okay. All right. The Brothers Finfer Scholarship, honorable mention, goes to a team of Erica Vidales, Charlotte Storr, and Shashank Sheate. Yes. Their project Anthology with Professor Rubio. All right. The Brothers Finfer Scholarship recipients, another team, Anthony Skokel, Matthew Terrell, and Ariana Eason for their project Equilibrium with Professors Brennenstuhl and Metter. Okay, so the next few awards are primarily for our graduating students who are here, or at least a lot of them are here. All right, let's see some people. So the George Danforth Traveling Fellowship and the Gerald Loeb Traveling Fellowship Prize are awarded to students for their outstanding projects in the Advanced Option Studios. This includes the fifth year B-Arch and the final year M-Arch and the MLA plus U. And these prizes support travel to study and to further enhance our students' education. Students were nominated by their studio professors and selected by this year's jury. So the honorable mention for the George Danforth Fellowship is awarded to two people, Patricio Olea and Udo Chukwu Anidobu. Their project, The Theater. This is with Professor Villalobos. This is Professor Villalobos, yes? Good. Okay, yeah, please. Maria. Yeah, but Maria's going to come up. Yes, come up for your photo. Okay. All right, Maria, don't go too far. You've got more. Not yet, not yet. One seat, then you'll be open. Okay. Because this time it's all about me, actually. So this year's recipients of the George Danforth Traveling Fellowship are, first of all, Noah Johnson for his project Yaya with me, Professor Martin Felsen, and Johan Kim. Okay, yes, very good. All right, congratulations, Noah. And another recipient for the George Danforth Traveling Fellowship is a team with Professor Villalobos, again, come back up, Maria, of Uduchuk Wu Anidobu, Jonathan Cienfuegos, and Kaylin O'Banion for their project Vineyards of Change. Nobody here, okay, well. Take a selfie, Maria. All right. We have another one, another George Danforth Traveling Fellowship. This one goes to Zoe Cole for her project Kalen Steelworks Playground. With me, Professor Martin Felsen and Johan Kim. Great, thank you. Okay, and we have another one. The last George Danforth Fellowship goes to Gemma Brizolara for the project Attention with Professor Leslie Johnson. Okay, very good. So we're moving on to the Gerald Lobel Traveling Prize, and there's one honorable mention for a team of two, Zoe Cole and Ethan Phillips for their project Azul with professors Rogelio Cadena and Justin DeGoff. Just you guys, yes. All right. Okay, and the winner of the prize for the Gerald Lobel Traveling Prize is Jalil Samad for his two projects, Islamic Cultural Center with Professor Jen Park and Slow Laundromat with Professor Leslie Johnson. Okay. So I'm going to also announce the Schiff Foundation Fellowship for Architecture Prize. These are the people that we are nominating for this prize. So they still have to submit, and we've won, the IIT has won it the last couple of years at least, so hopefully we'll have another winner. So let me tell you about this prize. It's administered by the Department of Architecture and Design at the Art Institute of Chicago. It's a very prestigious award. It's a $15,000 prize, and it recognizes exceptional merit that is the work of either our graduates or undergraduates in their final year of study in architecture. These nominees are either individuals or in groups, and they've been selected by faculty, our faculty, and also faculty at SAIC and UIC select groups as well, and then that group, bigger group, gets judged, and then someone comes out on top. So the 2025 nominees from the IIT College of Architecture, there are 5 of them. Let's start with Noah Johnson for Yaya. Yep, come on up. Maybe we have all 5 standing next to each other, so stay right there for a second. Yes, all right. Number 2 is Zoe Cole from Kalen Steelworks Playground Project. Number 3, Whispering by Alex Collins and Ethan Pulvermacher. Okay, yes, come on up. Number 4, Attention by Gemma Brizolara. Okay, good. And number 5, the final, is The Slow Laundromat by Jalil Samad in Leslie Johnson's studio. All right, best of luck. We really hope you win it. We're going to be rooting for you. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to hand this over to Professor Maria Villalobos. She's an associate professor and director of the Master in Landscape Architecture and Urbanism program. She will now recognize this year's MLA Plus U awards. Maria, come right up.
Thank you so much. I am probably going to make mistakes, everybody. Everyone, it's my pleasure to announce the MLA Awards this year First, we start with the Cadwell Medal. It's given to the first-year MLA student who exemplifies the commitment and convictions of the role of landscape architects in cities and the distinguished Alfred Cadwell's Public Landscape of Democracy. This year, the Cadwell Medal is given to Julian Stanfield. Julian. Okay. The Hilbersheimer Medal is given to a second-year MLA student who excels in critical thinking on city and regional planning and design, and which distinguished Ludwig Hildebrand's career of work. This year, Hilbersheimer Medals goes to Edith Norwood. The Lirio Landscape Architecture Summer Fellowship provides professional experience and funding for 2 weeks of travel research. This year, Lirio's Summer Fellowship is awarded to, come back over here, Eric Norwood. Ron, will you like to take a photo with Eric? I don't have to give him anything for this one, right? Congratulations. This year, we are honored to award the Richard Driehaus Foundation Scholarship for Master of Landscape Architecture and Urbanism. This tuition scholarship, open to continuing landscape architecture graduate students, is awarded this year to Brianna Henderson, Fabian Perez, Alexandra Gomez. Oh, Fabian, please come over. I'm sure I have certificates to give you. I'll give them to you right after this. Landscape Architecture Faculty Awards. The studio faculty recognizes excellent students for going above and beyond the expectations of the studio by fostering a strong and positive studio culture throughout the year. The 2025 Landscape Architecture Studio Faculty Awards goes to the following recipients. For the MLA first year, Ahmad Saaf. He's not here probably because he's not graduating, but congratulations. For this MLA plus U second year, somebody who's not here, but I have to add, is in 20 years of teaching, is the most spectacular student I ever had. This year, the award goes to Udo Anidobi. I'll now like to move on to the awards that our graduate students have received. The Landscape Architecture Book Award in History, Theory, and Criticism recognizes a scholarship achievement by a landscape architecture student as selected by the Landscape Architecture faculty. This year, the Book Award in History, Theory, and Criticism is given to Mohamed Arab Bazar. It's one of these, Mohamed. You asked wrong. Congratulations, Mohammed. The Illinois chapter of the American Society of Landscape Architects, Illinois ASLA, awards of honor or merit are given to a graduating Master in Landscape Architecture student as nominated by the Landscape Architecture faculty. This year, a jury of Illinois SLA leadership selected the following graduating students. For the honor award, the highest award the Illinois SLA concedes, goes to Mohammed Arabazar. They received their awards in a different ceremony, but we'll all take a photo. The MLA program is at your death, Mohammed. And for the award of merit, Kaylin O'Banian. Is Kaylin here? She's probably drinking when Udo celebrating. Outstanding contributions to community service 2025 goes to Brenda Cárdenas. The Landscape Architecture Foundation's Olmsted Scholar Program recognizes and supports students with exceptional leadership potential who uses ideas, influence, communication, service, and leadership to advance sustainable design and foster human and social benefits. The Landscape Architecture Foundation has awarded a 2025 University Olmsted Scholarship to graduating MLA student Ruth Muniz. Congratulations, Ruth. The Landscape Architecture Foundation Ignite program is a multi-year program for Black and Indigenous students and students of color that provides an annual scholarship, paid summer internship, and access to mentors. The program selects students with impressive work who have committed to landscape architecture and creating a healthier, more equitable, and sustainable world. This year, one of the 5 students selected for the 2024-2025 cohort of the Landscape Architecture Foundation Ignite program is Brendan Taylor Hall. With a big congratulations to Brendan, it's my pleasure to introduce Kim Sauce, Director of the GRC and Architecture Library, who will now present the Graham Resources Center Book Award. Thank you.
Hello. The Graham Resource Center Book Award assists students in building their personal libraries. Applicants submit essays on the role books play in their learning, growth, and studio work. Any student is eligible for the first 2 awards, with the top award going to a graduating student. Awardees were selected this year by Colleen Humer, Jonathan Miller, Kindon Mills, Kathy Nagel, and myself. This year's honorable mention goes to Logan Plysted. The two other awards this evening are Chichek Karatas and Jude Smith. And the graduating student award recipient is Eden Ephraim. Now I'd like to introduce Kathy Nagel, Associate Teaching Professor and Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Advising, who will now announce the Peter Hans Visual Training Prize recipients.
Good afternoon. For the Peter Hans Visual Training Prize, faculty in the Design, Communications, and Visual Media courses nominate students whose work demonstrates the visual training principles of Walter Peter Hans, the noted IIT architecture professor and colleague of Mies van der Rohe. We're very grateful to the Gertrude P. Kerpes Trust for their continued support of this award. Many thanks as well to Associate Teaching Professor Colleen Humer for organizing the 2025 Peter Hans Prize jury, which included Casey Jones, Zurich Esposito, and Yvette Kaiser-Smith. There are 3 honorable mentions. The Peter Hans honorable mentions are Anjishnu Day for work in Visual Training 1 with Professor Kristen Jones. The second honorable mention is for Ava Brown for work in collage making with Professor Catherine Wetzel. Okay. The third honorable mention goes to Andrew Seaworth for work in material narratives with Professor Dylan Pranger. The recipients of this year's Peter Hans Visual Training Project Prize, there are 3, go to Henry Conkrite for work in Design Communications 1 and 2. Adam Berahu for their work in Introduction to Digital Fabrication with Professor Alfonso Peluso. You're here. And the final recipient is Julia Bucci for work in From Vernacular to Modern with Professor Colleen Humer. Congratulations to all the recipients of the Peter Hans Prize. I'd now like to introduce Kindon Mills, Visiting Assistant Professor and Assistant Dean of Academic Affairs, who will present our Leadership and Professional Organization Awards.
Good afternoon. The Peer Mentor Program unites groups of first-year undergrads with qualifying undergraduate or graduate students in their final year of study. In the fall semester of each year, the peer mentors conduct weekly afternoon field trips for the first-year students to various locations around Chicago, focusing on discussion of the built environment, critical thinking, and sketchbook development. This program gives those entering our college a student mentor for their first semester of study and provides peer mentors with their first taste of teaching and mentoring. This year's peer mentor scholars are Julia Bucci, Moises Enciso, Colin Fielkovich, Ian Gonzalez-Vasquez, Riley Kenny, Nishtha Mehta, Hallie Parker, Maria Plensner, Anthony Skokal, and Swan Tun. With first alternate Shashank Shetta and second alternate Stephen Cruz. The 2024-2025 King Student Medal for ARCC King Student Medal for Excellence in Architectural and Environmental Design Research, named in honor of the late Jonathan King, co-founder and first president of the Architectural Research Centers Consortium, ARCC, is given to one student per ARCC member college that acknowledges innovation, integrity, and scholarship in architectural and/or environmental design research. This year's ARCC King's Student Medal is awarded to Logan Pleisted for his MS in Architecture thesis entitled Relief of Architecture, Conflict, and the Built Environment.
Can I say something?
Yeah. Please. You want to finish?
And I don't want to finish. I want to say something about Logan. he did a project for 120 million refugees. He looked in refugee camps all over the world with a radical improvement based on a research design exercise. So Logan, thanks a lot for your contribution.
The American Institute of Architects, the AIA, awards the Medal for Academic Excellence, formerly known as the Henry Adams Medal, for the top graduate of an NAAB-accredited Bachelor of Architecture, Master of Architecture, Doctorate of Architecture program who has displayed general excellence in their program. This year's recipient of the AIA Medal for Academic Excellence are the Bachelor of Architecture Medal goes to Gemma Britzolara. And the Master of Architecture Medal goes to Lee Cadlick. I don't think Lee is up here. There, okay. Yes. Reed, come take a picture with our winners. This is the AIA Medal for Academic Excellence. The Alpha Rho Chi Medal, provided by the National Professional Fraternity for Architecture and the Allied Arts, is awarded to a graduating student who has shown outstanding professional leadership, provided generous service for the college, and has demonstrated remarkable potential for professional merit. This award is nominated and voted upon by the college faculty. This year's recipient of the Alpha Rho Chi Medal is Caleb Kwok. Many congratulations to all of tonight's Spring Awards recipients. Cynthia Torres and Sarah Kress will notify all of you next week with details of your awards. Dean Reed Kroloff will now introduce our student speakers.
I think with Gemma and Caleb, the basis for getting an award is you had to be on an IIT billboard somewhere. I don't know if parents know this, but both Gemma and Caleb have found themselves, and along with others, I think Alex as well, on billboards all around town advertising IIT. And when you go by them, it's always a little disturbing because it's like, well, I didn't know you were here. Oh, you're not here. So it was wonderful. Congratulations to all of you who have received these awards. We're proud of all of you, and they really demonstrate extraordinary achievement. Before we move on to the student speeches, I'd like to ask all of our faculty who are here today to move this direction a little bit, or at least where I can point you out and stand up. So can I have all of the faculty stand up, please, and move forward? Tom, Andy, all of you. Here's our faculty. Here's our faculty. There's our faculty. This exceptional group of people, and several who are not here, actually close to 100 faculty who teach students, go beyond the call of duty every single day to work on behalf of these young people to make sure they get the finest education in architecture, landscape architecture, and planning that you can get anywhere. And I really want to thank all of you, and I want to salute all of you. This is one of the best schools in the country, and there was a reason for that, and it starts at the faculty. And now, though the awards part is over, we still have more fun, which is our student speeches. And the first student speech is the graduate program student speakers, the Master of Architecture candidates Soumya Pandit and Zubia Jahangir, who were selected by their fellows. They didn't vote themselves in. They were selected by their classmates, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one of them. Soumya Pandit was born and raised in Mumbai, India, where her passion for architecture began early, thanks to her father, an interior designer, who often took her along to site visits as a child. Silly man. See what happens? Watching spaces come to life sparked her fascination with design, eventually leading her to pursue a Bachelor of Architecture in Mumbai and work on everything from luxury villas to large corporate offices. She later moved to Chicago to pursue her master's here at IIT, where she grew as a designer and found a sense of belonging. From navigating her first train ride in a new country, and believe me, it's different, to serving as a teaching assistant, peer mentor, and co-founding the Desi Girls Students Association, you got it. Soumya embraced every challenge. One of her most memorable experiences was the Study Away program in Spain, where she engaged with architecture in a new cultural context. She believes architecture should be empathetic and inclusive, telling stories that bring people together. She and Zubia became close as classmates at IIT, working side by side as president and vice president, respectively, of the DGSA, the Desi Girls, sharing that unforgettable journey through Spain. Zubia was born and raised in Pakistan and moved to the United States with her family at the age of 16. Living near Chicago, she was captivated by the built environment and drawn to architecture. She earned her undergraduate degree from the University of Illinois at Chicago, where her design thinking and aesthetic vision began to grow. Wanting to deepen her understanding of structure and technology, she continued her studies here at IIT for her Master of Architecture in pursuit of professional licensure. Before grad school, she worked professionally in the field for 2 years, where she saw how design is often reduced to just profit. At IIT, that perspective shifted. Thank goodness. And she learned that architecture is about people, community, and meaningful sustainability first. She served as a teaching assistant for structures courses, participated in a study away program in Spain, as we heard, appeared on the PSA leaderboards, and co-founded the Desi Girls Student Association with the Desi friends she met here in the School of Architecture. Zubia hopes to keep designing with empathy, purpose, and deep gratitude for the community that shaped her. Let's welcome our guest speakers.
Okay, here we go. Hello everyone, I'm Zubia.
And I'm Samya.
Wait,
This isn't my speech.
yeah, I think I got your script. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Let's start
sorry,
over
sorry,
again.
sorry. Okay. Good evening, everyone, friends, family, faculty, and fellow graduates. We're honored to be here as we celebrate how far we've come and for what's next.
From the outside, Crown Hall is this pristine steel and glass masterpiece. Minimal, elegant, Messian perfection. But step inside during finals week and it's all about foam core, Red Bull cans, someone crying over grasshopper, and someone whispering, "Do you have an extra chipboard?"
We didn't just learn to design here. We learned how to survive grasshopper, improvise under pressure, and see meaning in the mess. And that chaos, it shaped us. And somehow it made Crown feel like home.
We came from different parts of the world: Chicago, Mumbai, Karachi, Seoul, Kansas. All of us carrying different backgrounds, dreams, and sketchbook full of ideas.
And somehow, in this open, giant classroom, we didn't only share desks, we shared snacks. And also ideas and feedback, and most importantly, our culture.
Yeah. We learned so much here: how to draw a perfect section cut, and to accept that it won't be perfect, and how to explain a diagram in exactly 10 seconds before a professor interrupts you with, "Yeah, but what does this mean?"
Not gonna lie, we had our fair share of humbling moments, like spending 12 hours on a rendering just for the projector to wash it out completely, or laser cutting the wrong scale and calling it a conceptual design.
But there were incredible wins too. Submitting something you're actually proud of, surviving structures class, and figuring out Revit families without crying, and seeing your idea evolve from a napkin sketch to a real story.
This journey wasn't just academic, it was personal. Some of us far from home, navigating new cities, cultures, and public transport systems. That don't exactly make sense at first, right, Samya?
Well, let's just say it took me a while to figure out the brown line, but somehow, between teaching assistant roles, peer mentoring, part-time jobs, and leading clubs like the Desi Girls Student Association, aka DGSA, we found our footing.
Speaking of DGSA, that's where Samya and I really bonded. It began with a close group of friends we found in Crown, like Shreya, Ojasvi, Hardi. But it grew from there, grew into something much more. As president and vice president, we didn't just plan events, we built a community of shared culture and sisterhood. DGSA became a safe space, an initiative to empower women.
Not just that, we also survived a design study trip to Spain together, where we walked 20,000 steps a day, got lost in winding alleys, took the wrong train, but still managed to enjoy every plaza our professors pointed at.
That trip reminded us why we love architecture. Not because of the software or the sleepless nights, but because of the way design connects people across time, culture, and place.
And that's what this program taught us, that architecture is not just about buildings, it's about people, about empathy, about listening, and most importantly, about showing up, even when your Rhino file crashes at 4 a.m.
It taught us resilience, to keep showing up, to grow through the chaos, and find purpose in pressure. We are grateful to our professors who pushed us, our classmates who became family, and to this beautiful place we call Crown Hall.
And to our families, thank you for believing in us. Even when we explained our thesis project and you just said, "Wow, beta, very nice, but what does it do?"
And to the students still in the program, you've got this. Keep going, keep laughing through the all-nighters, and asking for feedback and building things that matter.
And to our graduating class, we made it with calloused hands, overstuffed portfolios, and hearts full of stories.
Thank you, IIT, and congratulations, class of 2025!
That's it from us.
Thank you.
All right, let's give it up one more time, no? Membership to the Desi Girls Student Association is open. And now it gives me pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Do we have these? Do we have gifts? Yeah. Oh, for the two of you. Yeah. Hey, we've got gifts. Really big, fat gifts. I think I know what those are. They're really beautiful books. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the next student speaker, again, elected by his class. And this is our Bachelor of Architecture, our undergraduate student speaker, Julian Glazer, who was... Okay, no pressure, Julian. Who was born and raised in San Francisco. That tells you a lot. And found his passion for the arts at a young age. He was raised by artistic parents who encouraged him to embrace creative expression. This led him to attend the Ruth Asawa School of the Arts, where he learned the importance of the design process. At IIT, he immersed himself in the studio culture, which allowed him to collaborate with his peers to assist one another in their work. He traveled with the IIT Design Build program, and now is inspired to continue this hands-on approach to architecture moving forward. Julian.
Is this thing on? Thank you, Dean Kroloff, for the kind introduction. First of all, I'd like to thank all of the faculty and staff for putting in the tremendous effort to create this event. I would also like to welcome all of the family and friends who came out to support our new graduates. For those of you that have not been to Crown Hall before, it is Mises' fanciest box, so yeah. And most importantly, I would like to acknowledge our graduates, many of whom I've had the pleasure of sharing my 5 years here with. While it might seem cliche, I truly believe that we are a special class. Our first year, we were plagued with COVID-19, and we were thrown in a hybrid working environment, which asked us to work in a technological sphere. This was while also being the last class to hand draft, calling for us to spend hours in person over our drafting board, praying that our hands would not be smudging our lines. I always like to brag that during our first year, this group was the only ones on campus that I got to regularly meet in person. Legend has it that the CS students have not made it back yet. Jokes aside, being able to have 24-hour studio access during the pandemic was instrumental not only to allowing us to get our work done properly, but also to assimilate ourselves in studio culture. One of our initial assignments was taking a painting and extruding it into a three-dimensional space. And it was also the first assignment that called for us to come into the space and actually work in the studio. A few days before our model was due, I walked into the expansive lower Crown Hall space, also known as the dungeon. And I was looking around and seeing scattered students all opening up their model making kit from the bookstore. If you don't know, during our first year, when you got anything from the bookstore, they gave you a tiny little stick of deodorant, which would only be necessary at IIT. I started talking to people that up until now I had only recognized as a little rectangle on a screen. And as I got to know them better, I realized that whoever organized our studio did a terrible job. Because if you looked at the list of people, it was me, Julian, and Ethan, and Julian, and Ethan, and Jillian, amongst a few others whose names were less confusing for the professors. Throughout the semester, we would spend countless nights staying up late, working, talking, laughing, gossiping, and crying. Sometimes, if we felt bored, we would head to studio just to strike up a conversation or see how someone's project was coming along. By the end of the semester, we were mortified to find out that we would be split up and put into a new group with a new professor. Our small community had become quite close, and it felt like we were all coming to an end. Luckily, this was only the beginning, because as each semester passed, our social group started to grow and grow. I can say that with complete confidence that every single semester since I have gone to IIT, I've at least made one friend per studio that lasted far past actually being in class with them. As we moved into the digital realm, we were able to lean on one another to expand our knowledge for computer programs that we had very little idea about. One person would have a Photoshop tip that they might have learned in high school, and in exchange, someone would give you a Rhino command from a Peluso video. The sense of togetherness was extremely unique on campus, and you could see it when you walked into Commons and you would see a 20-person table completely filled with people complaining about their assignments or their professors or just whatever was on their mind. As we got better at maneuvering through studio, it allowed us to work from home a lot more, with the exception of a few times that begged for us to be in the classroom. One of these times is the night before a review, an astonishing display of willpower. What would normally be a relatively empty space came alive with an energy unmatched with anything I have seen before. All 100 or so of us would be in one space, exhausted, after spending weeks cranking out final drawings and models and whatever we could possibly do to explain our project, hopefully. But even with the mental and physical exhaustion, the absolute determination to stay up one last night to get everything done showed a power in everyone that couldn't possibly be expressed by what the reviewers would say the next day. Being able to learn and grow and connect with all of these Being able to learn and grow and connect with one another these 5 years have been the most integral part of my time at IIT, and I'm sure this is the same for so many others. We should be proud and confident about all of the work that we have done to make it to this point and say that we're finished. For many of us here, this is the first time that we were able to meet in person to celebrate finishing a step in our education. 5 years ago, we lost prom and graduation and all of the festivities that surround moving on to the next chapter in our life. Instead, sitting at home in our COVID bubble, watching our name be called over Zoom. I don't know if this sentiment is felt across the room, but this transition felt anticlimactic, leaving and wanting us to deserve so much more. I really hope this is a full circle moment for everyone here, and it feels like a proper send-off from somewhere so special. Parents, embrace your children and understand the superhero you have created. Continue to support us in our next transition in life because we still rely on you for your wisdom and advice. Your child is going to take the immense knowledge that they have learned in these 4 very glass walls and go out and make a real impact in the world. I know I'm speaking generally, but I strongly believe that every person that I have come across in this room has molded and inspired me in both becoming an architect and a person, and I have no doubt they will continue to do the same for the world. To our wonderful faculty, we are forever grateful for your wisdom and inspiration and the countless hours you put into instructing us. We are so fortunate for all of the architectural professionals that we get to study under who help to ingrain a philosophy which I believe can help heal the world. Thank you for connecting us to the architectural sphere outside of school and for all the extra work that is put in the hours outside of class. All I ask of you is to remember that we are human and sometimes things will come up that will impact how we perform in school. Please give us some leeway and understanding when these times do come around because it happens to all of us. And to our students, please don't view this as a marathon that we're barely getting over the finish line. Instead, view this as the accomplishment that it is and the testament to strength that you have built in your time here. Take this moment to congratulate yourself and your fellow students for making it to a point that many others have failed to reach. Thank you for being the wonderful people that you are, and I hope we can look back at all the happy, stressful, sad, and ridiculous moments that happened here. And hopefully these memories will bring a smile to your face because they definitely brought one to mine. As Mies van der Rohe once famously stated, we out. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Julian. Job well done. Job well done. And now I'd like to thank a couple of people that aren't students. I'd like to thank some people that I think the parents rarely get to see. The students do, not as much as I would hope, but these are the backbone of the school. These are the people who keep it running, who enable our faculty to do their work, who enable our students to do their work, and this is our staff. And I'd like to start by thanking first the people who really work on this event. And that is, most often, Cynthia Torres, who's right there. Who this year, for the first time, is joined by Sarah Kress. Sarah, where are you? Somewhere over here. Christine Manuel, standing right there, without whom I would never have anything finished. Mark Osorio, who manages our building and gave you your chairs today, right there. And the manager of our fabrication center, whom your students, who your children love and hate simultaneously. Right there, Brick Cassidy. Brick has a team of 3 other folks who aren't with us today in this auditorium. At least I don't know that they're here. They are each exceptional people. We run a school of 700 students and almost 100 faculty with a tiny, tiny staff, barely 12 people. Just to give you a sense, the nearest architecture school of our size has a staff of 30. Sorry, this was supposed to be switched off, and it still won't switch off. So it's an extraordinary thing that this tiny band of intrepid people do, and I really, really appreciate all of them, and I know our students do as well, so thank you for that. Now, I'd like to just say a couple of things to everybody gathered here. The first is simple. Get out. get out. And I mean that quite literally. Get out. We're done. We're done. I want you to get out and see the world. That's the first thing you need to do. If you're going to be an architect or a landscape architect or a planner or an urban designer, you have to see those things beyond Chicago and beyond your home. You need to see them everywhere, where you can absorb the genius of the many, many people who came before you. So get out. Second, get out and do something really stupid. Because you just spent 5 years working your tail end off, or 3 years, or 2 years, or 1 year, depending your program. Get out there and have fun. Get out there and just shed the weight that you've been carrying on your shoulders. Parents, this is the hardest undergraduate and graduate discipline you can imagine. These kids work 25 hours a day if they could find them, 366 days a year if they could find that. It's astounding what they do. All of this that you see around you, all of these hundreds of models and drawings, it's nothing. It's a tiny little piece of what they do. So get out and relax. 3, get out and do something wonderful. Get out and do something you haven't done before. Get out and do something that this education prepared you for. And that does not mean pick up a mouse and draft. It does not mean do a 3-point perspective. It means do something you haven't tried before. Because if you're not doing that here in architecture school and landscape architecture school and planning, you're not doing it. If you haven't learned that yet, it's the most important lesson you can take out of your education, is that this is meant to make you think about things in a way you haven't done it before. So get out there and do that. For those of you who want to practice architecture in any one of the states in the United States, get out and get a license. Finish your professional educational practice. The same is true for landscape architects. Most of the states in the United States license landscape architects now. Get a license. Get a license in any of the design fields, even if you never practice architecture or landscape architecture again. Get the license. Finish the process. Finally, get out and make the world a better place. That's what designers do. No matter what their discipline is, they make the world a better place. Sometimes in tiny little ways, and sometimes in bigger ways like Crown Hall, sometimes in the landscape that makes this building possible to be successful, sometimes at the scale of entire cities. Get out there and make the world a better place. And then I have another piece of advice. Come back. Come back. Come back and visit. Come back and visit this campus that's inspired you for so long, this campus that changed so many college campuses after it was built, this campus that changed so many working campuses after it was built. Come back and visit this place that inspired you, this building that should inspire you for the rest of your life. Come back if you're in Chicago or even if you're visiting and be on a review. Be on the other side of the chair that you've been for the last number of years that you've been here. Come back and see your faculty. They still think about you, even when they're old, right, Martin? Come back and visit them again and again and again, because the inspiration you got from them here, you will continue to get from them later. And just as importantly, they have been inspired by you. I promise. They have been inspired by you, and they want to keep being inspired by you. So come back and tell them what is up in your life and how you are doing the get out business. Come back and mentor a student like yourself. Think about yourself freshman year, first year. Think about how complicated it was. You might have been here from Mumbai. You might have been here from Kansas. You might have been here from anywhere, but you probably weren't here from here because you didn't live in Crown Hall then. You only lived in it now. Come back and find a student who looks lost. confused, upset, or happy, and mentor that student. Show that student that this is a profession that cares about the people in it, and that caring doesn't stop at commencement. And of course, speaking as a dean, come back and make a donation to the school so that we can keep it going for the next set of generations of students. Tomorrow, I want you to come back and go to commencement with us. I want to see all of you there. It's a nearly endless process, but I think you'll enjoy it anyway. We're very excited to be with you for that. We really are proud of you. We really hope that you have a wonderful day tomorrow and that you've enjoyed this event tonight and that you will spend the next half hour helping us put the posters that are coming back off the wall again, yet for the third time, back up on the walls, and enjoy your time together. On behalf of every member of our staff and our entire faculty, thank you and congratulations. All right, get out. You heard me.